Welcome to Big Dream Sports TV. As you can see, we're back in the studio. My name's Andrew Layden, and I got beside me Cap Pert, Owen Gilliland, and listen, we got a kid in the studio, because we are a kid-friendly studio, has on an outfit that is amazing. Come
This is extreme right here.
Come show the audience.
I mean, it's too good.
Listen, he has the Homer Simpson all
Dope.
the way down, up and down. Like, yeah, and he got on pink socks. Pink socks.
Polyester.
All right.
Having fun in here today.
Yeah.
We are having
How
fun.
y'all fellas
in here
feeling today?
I'm feeling good. We had a fun week of high school football. It really didn't go the way I would have wanted it to go as far as my picks go, but I'm sure I'm going to hear about that here in a little bit. But other than that, it was a good week, you know. I can't complain at all.
I'm good.
You
I'm
good?
all right. I'm ready for the next week.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we finna get into this exciting show right after this small break.
The focus of our program is to enhance speed, footwork, and explosive jumping ability. Don't delay and call your speed doctors today at 239-826-7891.
Welcome back to Big Dream Sports TV. We're going to jump right into Drew's Tips. And Drew's Tips today is talking about something we talked about earlier, is your grade point average being recruited by how many colleges can recruit you by your grade point average. As you can see on the screen, we have, you know, if you have a 4.0, only 94% of the United States colleges can recruit you on down from there. And then if you have a 2.0, 8%. So fellas with that, the fellas and ladies, get your grade point average up so you have a higher chance of being recruited by our college. What you got to say?
I don't know. I mean, if you got a low GPA, you might end up with a GED, and nobody wants that. You know what I mean? So it's important, you know, keep your GPA up there so you can be recruited by these coaches. That's the first thing they're going to look at is, you know, where is your head in the books. So the best thing you can do is keep it up there, leave it up there, and don't let it fall and stay in the books.
Exactly. Great.
Just
Get it done.
just get her done.
Simple.
Just get it done, yeah.
Get her done.
And that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap that up with Drew's Tips, but now we finna
Cap
get
is
into-
live today, if you can't tell. He is feeling well.
He pumped up. We're going to go on straight, get right into the hot topic of the day. And the hot topic of the day is competition level from private schools to public schools. And the reason why we're bringing this hot topic up today is because we got some private school kids that are literally raising the bar.
Turned up.
And like we have one kid, Chris Caesar, Hail Caesar. I told y'all, watch out for this kid. And actually, we have his coach on later, gonna talk to you about him. But this kid had 5 TDs.
Been talking about it for a month.
Yes, but
Well,
listen,
you have.
I told you
Hey.
he was gonna show up. He
did-
showed up.
you did say
showed
it.
out against his old school. Had 5 TDs, 289 all-purpose yards. All-purpose yards. And then we go right back to our boys that we all love, Corey and Devin. They lost. They came up, but Devin had 6 receptions for 99 yards, 2 TDs and an interception. So you know who threw him the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, with that being said, do you think that they can do that in a public school?
I won't take nothing from no kid, because at the same time, it's like, You have Caesar. If Caesar was to get behind a line in one of the public schools, I think he possibly can do.
The same thing.
I think he can do that.
Wow.
I think he can do that, just like Devin Tompkins and Bessie. If they was to go into a public school, I don't think they'll miss a beat. I really don't, because at the same time, it's like when they do 7-on-7s or whatever, in which that's kind of like
Right.
what it is. They compete with the best. They play against the best schools or whatever on the 7-on-7 level, because it's like they don't discriminate on 7-on-7.
Right,
So
right.
when Bessie throw a touchdown to Tompkins, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. It's
Competing
nothing,
against the same guys.
It's nothing different. So, but at the same time, it's like, what school are they playing for these guys to just
Excel
be
like
doing
that.
everything?
I don't care who you play for or what field you're on. If you put up those kinds of numbers, I don't care. That's impressive regardless. And a kid like that is showing you that he could do that anywhere. I don't care what school he's at. I don't care what level it's on. If you're scoring 5 touchdowns and 289 all-purpose yards, you're going to be a player anywhere.
Right.
And there's a lot of private school kids that are that way. Are the teams as a whole as good as public schools? Probably not. But they do have their athletes that hold their own that could go to any school and show out like these kids have. You got to give them their props. I don't care. I don't care what school they go to. When you're putting up numbers like that and doing things like that, it's impressive regardless of where you're at.
And I also want to tip my hat to the guys that go to private schools, the charter schools, because the curriculum sometimes is a little more harder than what I'm saying, the public school.
It for sure is.
So
for sure is.
now these guys have to do the curriculum that's required for them to make sure that they can play football in a tougher environment and also perform on the field. Mm-hmm. So I think, they kind of got it a little harder than public schools, even though they're probably not surrounded by the best talent.
I mean, the criticism too.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
We gonna say it like, can he do it in a public school? But like Owen said, you cannot take it away from.
Those aren't average numbers.
Yeah,
is
those
what
are
I'm
not
saying.
average
Those are
numbers.
those are
Right,
extreme
Those are not
numbers.
average numbers.
So I mean, if you're going to tell me that he's going to come from doing that and go to a public school and just be obsolete, you're crazy.
Right.
That's absolutely nonsense to me.
Still players.
Absolutely.
And because this week, and when we talk about this discussion, you have some guys that are not being mentioned that's in the private schools when it comes to the top receiver or the top quarterback or the top running back in Lee County. And is it because of the school that they go to?
I think so.
Do you think that's
I
what
really
people
do think so.
I don't think so. I just think it just shows the amount of athleticism and players we have around here.
Right,
Personally, I think it's just the amount of talent is so much here. It's hard to cover every single kid and get every single name out there, honestly, because there's so much talent here. We could sit here all day and pick everything apart, but at the end of the day, there's so much talent here. It's hard to cover every athlete. And maybe public schools, they might get a little more pub than private schools, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you got talent and you're playing and you're putting up numbers, we're going to talk about you.
exactly.
So
If you produce, this is a show for you guys. We're going to put you on. And we're going to go to the break after that segment, and we'll be back with some guest appearances from some guys that I really value and appreciate them coming on the show.
back at home.
Yes, you know it. That's how we do. Welcome back to Big Dream Sports TV. I have with me Darfenell Goen, one of the kids that I really expected a lot from, but, you know, had some tragic events happen. What happened?
Well, I was in football practice, just a regular day, and I was actually at the safety position, and I went up to deflect the ball, and when I came down, my knee just tore up, and I tore my ACL, MCL, and LCL.
Wow. So now, I was expecting huge things from you, like everybody was. You know, you worked hard, you worked so hard on the off season, and this situation happened. Do you feel like everything just came crashing down? Because you going into your senior year, you told me you got reclassified because you were supposed to be a junior, but you got reclassified as a senior. And then, you know, you come, you're ready for your senior year. Okay, I got 1 year to make this shot happen. Then you tear your knee. On top of that, you lose the only two guys that probably can help you getting reclassified with Ant Dixon and, you know, the athletic director. So how do you feel?
Well, I mean, just like any other teenager would, I feel like my life is over, like over-exaggerating. So, yeah, I was really scared, especially when I was like on the ground and I was injured with my knee. I was thinking it's over.
Right.
So.
But one of the things I want to tell you, I had my knee. I messed up my knee too. I messed up my ACL. You can come back from it. You can come back from it better and harder than ever, but it's all on you, a mental thing. So I don't want you to feel like, you know, all hope is lost, because it's not. It's just one more bump in the road that you have to go through. So now, are you going to try to get that year back? Are you going to move on, go walk on somewhere, see how your cards play out? What's your plan?
As of right now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm kind of leaning more towards the getting a year back side, just because I'm really like unknown to colleges like that. So I feel like I'm gonna struggle more trying to just push through it and walk on. So.
Well, you know, I feel like the way football is set up and colleges is set up now, that you have a better chance of you have a chance to still succeed at your goals, even if you don't get reclassified, because you have prep schools, you have junior colleges, or you can walk on. You know, because I seen your talent. Once you get on the field, I promise you, every coach is going to want to sign you to a scholarship. So I don't want you to get down on yourself. I just want you to understand, like, listen, life is not over. Get this surgery, come back harder than ever, and, you know I got you back. You know everybody at BAPC got you back. You know everybody at Big Dream Sports TV got you back. You got a whole bunch. I'm talking about you got a train of people, you know, that got you back. So don't ever feel like you're in it alone, and we're going to come back harder than ever. And I say we because, you know, everybody you come in touch with, you have that presence of, you know what I'm saying, just, this is a great kid. Oh, man, I love Darf. Darf is, you know, such a polite kid. You know, so your reputation already speaks for itself. So you're going to be all right. All right?
All right.
That's what. Thank
it.
you for coming on the show. Appreciate you. And we'll be right back right after this small break.
The focus of our program is to enhance speed, footwork, and explosive jumping ability. Don't delay and call your speed doctors today at 239-826-7891.
Welcome back to Big Dream Sports TV. As you can see, I'm here with another guest one of my good friends, Coach Chris Morant. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, man, how you doing,
I'm
man?
good,
It's nice
I'm
to be
good.
on your show, man.
I appreciate you coming through, man. Like, listen, you came, when I first met you, you was at the Stingrays doing, the semi-pro thing. You're not from Fort Myers, but you came when I first met you, you was doing semi-pro. And now you're the head coach at Gateway Charter. Y'all come off a big win, huge win. Like I tell everybody, hail Caesar. He seemed like he did his part. So give me a little bit about your program. Let the audience know what's going on.
Well, I tell you what, man. I appreciate you first for having me on your show. And you guys doing a fantastic job. Just want to let you know that we're not a semi-pro team. We're a minor league development football league. That's one. Minor league.
My bad, Coach.
Semi-pro mean you're paying guys. So
Okay.
So we're allowed Stingrays are allowed to help come to our program to help guys to get to the next level to play college football or play professional football.
Okay.
Gateway Charter High School was a blessing to come to me, man. They was gonna, they came off of 0-30. They were 0-30 in the past 3 years.
Sheesh.
And I understand, Coach Johnny was a great coach there. Fortunately, there were some things happening with his family, so that's why he took a step down. And I got a phone call and they say, would you like to be the head coach of Gateway Charter? And I said, sure, why not?
Straight blessing.
And man, when we got there, man, we only started off with 4 guys. And,
wow.
And before the season, we ended up with 60 guys, coming out to the football. And there's some things that we had to change. Got a good coaching staff. And last week was a phenomenal game. All our guys played well, man. It's about preparation, as you know, as a head coach.
Yes, sir.
Making sure we didn't take a day off on Monday, even though it was a holiday.
Right.
We came in, watched film, and worked out. And then Tuesday, we came back to practice. Wednesday, we showed up. Thursday, we had walkthrough. And then Friday night, it was showtime.
Okay.
A lot of people don't understand. Gateway is a great school. Education, you gotta have a good academic background to become the Gateway. You just can't come there with a 1.9 and 2.0. You got to have at least a 2.2 to get inside the Gateway Charter High School.
Okay.
As you guys were talking about private school, where most of these guys at public schools, it don't matter where you play at. Scouts is all about how the coaches, the head coaches, calling the college coaches and telling them, hey, about these guys, about the recruitment status. It falls down on, how your guys is prepared to play at the next level. And that's what it is about with the head coaches. You got to go out there and promote. You got to go to 707. You got to go to the dirty camp. You got to get out of Fort Myers to promote your guys.
You got to literally do your homework. And one of the things that I missed to say in the Hot Topic segment was that, if I'm a college coach and I see a kid, that comes from a private school, I already know that, hey, this kid's, he has his head on straight because of the academics that you guys require him to have. And, he's going to be probably a better fit to my program and it's more likely to succeed. I'm not going to just sit up and say a public school kid can't succeed, but, the chances are a little more higher because of the academic program, because some of these public schools have some great programs where you got IB, the AP program. So, I don't really want to badmouth public schools, but at the same time, the private schools can get you there if you are talented enough, because like you said, if you got talent, they're going to find you, no matter where you're at.
They're going to find you.
And that's what I tell kids about, even with, Coach, I don't want to go to AI school. I don't want to go to the... First of all, it's about a free education.
That's correct.
Second of all, if you're good, they're going to find you.
Yep.
So, with you're doing big things over there at Gateway Charter. Now, how are you looking forward right now? How are you going to hit the ground running off season about building your program?
Well, right now we're gonna put in we got a $250,000 project. What we're gonna do? We're gonna put in a field turf. Our goal is to break it down in December.
Okay.
To put down the turf and build our field house and our stadium. Right now we got a lot of support right now. I'm talking to Mayor Henderson and telling him we're the only school in Lee County don't have a football field, which is we're always constantly traveling. And a lot of people saying Gateway with an easy win. But there's talent at Gateway. Again, we're small. We got 8th graders that start on our varsity team as producing. What other school that 8th graders starting at varsity and making a name for themselves? Again, college coach is going to find you first of all, if you got the ACT and the SAT, if you got the right GPA and you got them scores, it's easy for a high school coach to get you in school because now they know academics come first.
Right.
And that's what we're teaching at our school. We got study hall every day, for about 35, 45 minutes or between an hour where our students go and get help every single day. We got an ACT prep class where our teachers is prepping our students to get ready for that test. SAT, we got another person coming in and prepping them. We're going to be collaborating with FGCU, talking to them, trying to get them. So, I mean, again, it's just one of them things, again. I mean, you look at St. Thomas Aquinas. They started off low. And then they made a big name for themselves. You know, they was a private school. Look at all the big names that came out of there as their program got hit and running. So, again, that's where we're trying to head it to. Public schools, you know, they just got to get on the same page as far as making sure they academics. You know, making sure that the players is doing what they're supposed to do. I see in a lot of public schools, you know, teachers, there are certain teachers might not care about athletes. Well, you got to get that out there. He's there to help you. If he raises his hand, give him some help. Don't just say, you just playing around. No, if he raises his hand, give him some help.
Exactly.
But that's the difference between private school because we're much smaller. It's only 25 people in the classroom. So you got a lot of people one-on-one. And then after school, you got a lot of help.
Okay.
So with that being said, you know, myself, they know I'm educated. So when the students come in and ask me for, you know, how to do a problem for math, for reading and writing, you got to know how to do that too. You just can't just be a high school coach. You got to be a teacher too at the same time to our students. So.
Because you're more than just the coach. And one of the things, are you guys, like you have Bishop Verreau and Canterbury, they're a private school. What's the difference between a private school and a charter school?
Well, a private school, you got to pay money.
Okay.
Okay. Canterbury, you got to pay some money.
Yeah.
Bishop Verreau, you got to pay a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Well, at our school, you ain't got to pay no money.
Huh?
At our school, you don't pay no money. All you do, you go online, you register, your GPA fit requires, you in the school. Simple as that. As long as you within the same distance, a mile, you in there. Okay. As far as athletes just trying to transfer into Gateway, a lot of the students, they know what Gateway is about. Again, we're trying to make a difference in the community. We're not just talking about football. We want to make a life change in some of our guys that we have going out to the elementary, reading to them. That's what we got to do. Our young kids, we haven't really taught them what life is about. Okay. And so at the end of the day, when a player come to me and say, hey, coach, I want to play football, the first thing is, what you going to do to give back to the community? How are you going to make an impact? How are you going to be a positive person in the community? Because at the end of the day, what happens if you go out there and blow your knee out? What are you going to do? Yeah. You can't just say, well, I'm going to rehab, I'm going back and play football. No, you got to have something else.
Yeah, you got to have that backup.
You got to fall on. That's with that education, give back to the community.
Exactly. Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Listen, you dropped some wise knowledge on us, man, so we know what Gateway is about. First of all, before we cut, give me a little brief about, I just want to know about a couple of your players that's standing out over there.
Man, I tell you what, right now we got a D tackle who's 6'3", 285. His name Luke. We got a DN right now. His name, we call him Big Red. He's 6'2", 255. We got Chris Walton, who's playing good football right now. We got Jeremy, who had a pick last night. Right now we got Chris Caesar, and our quarterback, who's a sophomore, who threw over 300-some yards that nobody ever heard about. Again, it's just developing them.
Tell us his name so we can hear about it.
His name is Ty Savoy. That's who you want to hear. The next person is going to come up on the map. We're going to have to send him. Of course, we got to send him to y'all, get his speed up. Okay. But again, man, he's a guy. He's knowledge. He got a 3.0 GPA. That's what you want at the quarterback position. You don't need a 2.0 because then you got to continue to remind him the plays. So, again, remember that name, Ty Savoy.
Okay. What about that? Do y'all got some linemen? These boys.
Oh man, let me tell you, we got a big boy, 6'5", 285 pounds. His name's Sawyer. He plays right tackle. Then we got a guard who's 6'2", 280. Again, the front line, the offensive linemen, they big. Okay. They played football before, but again, they came through our training camp. They learned what they're supposed to do, and they moving a horse. Without the linemen, you can't win football games. Exactly. I don't care what you say. So you got to have them big boys up front. So.
Yeah, because that's the thing, man. These guys, the big guys, man, listen, the pancake people, the pancake eaters, steak beef guys. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
They all cross the front. We averaging right now 285 across the front our whole line. So
Big Dream Sports TV recognizes the big guys. So, but Coach, man, once again, I appreciate you coming through. Thanks.
Breaks you, man.
Yes. Hey, y'all heard it here. We'll be right back after this short break. And the gang is back. We back. Welcome back to Big Dream Sports TV. And now we're going to get right into these highlights of the day of the game of the week, Lehigh and South Fort Myers.
Proud of you, man. We all make our mistakes. I made 1,000 mistakes last week. But it's time to move forward, man. It's time to give everything we got on this football field tonight. It's our night.
The run begins tonight. Stage number 2 on this 24-hour journey starts tonight. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You've got to want it.
We got to win the battle up front, man. We got to, assignments, alignments, man, give great effort, do what we got to do, man. And I think the team who will make the least amount of mistakes probably going to come out on top in this ball game. So we're looking forward to it, man. We prepared, and it's up to the players right now.
The biggest thing we've got to do tonight is just play sound defense. We got to fill our lanes, make sure we're wrapping up and tackling when we get a hold of them, and just play fast football. We got to get 11 halves to the ball.
And that segment was brought to you by In the Zone. Great job, fellas. Thank you. Listen, I can tell you this. I don't know if the Lehigh coaches listen to the show or not, but I'm going to tell you this. Great job. Because Chris Curry toted the ball, 25 carries, 124, 1 touchdown. And it was a very questionable call in that game because of one of the passes that Maurice Fenor threw. I was at the game personally myself. I thought he was over. One of the refs thought he was over, but they end up waving it off, scoring. The game was 20-16. So now with that questionable call being called back, hey, you never know. But Lehigh didn't come out with the win, but you can see the tremendous improvement. You can see it. Like the play calling was totally different. They were getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and they let the man put the team on his shoulder, and he almost pulled it off.
Yeah, you could tell from those highlights that nobody wants to hit that kid. He runs the ball hard. You know, he's a straight man. Like I said, doesn't look like anybody wants to hit him. He runs the ball hard. It's unfortunate that call didn't go their way. You know, they would have had their first W of the year. And a lot of people are starting to call those South boys the cardiac kids. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because they're not supposed to be in cardiac situations from what we thought at the beginning of the year.
Right.
You know, they're supposed to be a better team than that. And if they don't step up their game real soon, when they start seeing these premier teams, not saying Lehigh isn't, they got a lot of athletes, but the Fort Myers of the world, like this week, if they don't step it up and play the way they're supposed to play, that we thought they were going to play, there's going to be problems. And that O on their record might be in jeopardy.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe they play to their expectations when they're playing against a high caliber team.
I'm not sure if they have an identity yet. It's, you know, from the AD. I don't think they've totally gotten over the AD thing and figured out who they are yet, because that's who they were at one point. And I'm not positive that they've actually figured out who they are yet. And until they do, you're going to keep having these situations. And they got lucky last week, like you said, with that call.
But at the end of the day, you know, South came out with the win. And that's all it's about. You know, Coach Chaney said it in the interview, the person with the least mistakes going to come out on top, and that's what happened.
Right.
So that's enough of that game. Now we're going to get into, I told you, 0-1. 0-1.
What are we talking about?
Cypress Lake and Fort Myers.
That's exactly why I took this suit coat off, because I knew it was going to get hot in here. These guys are going to come at me about that game, about my picks last week. It was rough for me. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Did I really, in my heart of hearts, really think we were going to pull that off? No, but stranger things have happened, and I couldn't go against them.
But you was texting me all through the game at the beginning of the game. My boys are here. We ready. And
that's the thing. They did come ready. It was 0-0 after in the first quarter. They, you know, a couple of penalties, a fake punt that didn't go their way, and the problem was the depth. You know what? They just wore Cypress down with their athleticism, their depth. Felix, and they had that fullback, Xavier Perez. He ran for 100 yards. He didn't score any touchdowns, but he wore them out, and that allowed Felix to do his thing and have the phenomenal game he did with 171 and 3 touchdowns. Yep. You know, it's just Cypress is not on that level yet, and they're pretty young. You know, they got a good quarterback in Keon Browner, and he looks like he can be an athlete down the road, but they're not there yet.
So,
unfortunately for me.
How did the Joseph kid do?
He did okay. I mean, nothing, that blew your mind this game. But he did make his presence known. There was a couple of plays that he had that were called back due to penalties and whatnot. But up in person, looking at that kid, he's only a sophomore. He looks like he's going to be something. I
mean, he also came up from safety and he made a couple of solo tackles on Darren Felix. That kind of surprised me, being that we know how young he is, but he's that player that will step up and make that hit right in the middle of the field. I mean, and bring you down. Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely not scared to hit.
I got to ask you, was that a bounce back game for Felix from the North Fort Myers game?
I mean, you'd have to say yes.
171?
You'd have to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. With that 171, it makes his stats look like that North Fort Myers game never exists, because he had 201 the first week.
I have to be honest with you, early in the game, Cypress was doing a good job of corralling him and keeping him inside and not letting him make any big plays.
But one of the key things you did say was other guys around Felix made plays, so that opened him up because you had Josias Young, had 2 touchdowns.
Right.
The freshman.
And then a freshman doing big things out there. And, you know,
Ben Stovall continues to impress me too, especially in person at quarterback at Fort Myers. He's a lot more athletic than you think he is.
Right.
And you see him live, and he can get out of the pocket and make plays, extend plays, and make things happen. So he impressed me as well. And you know, it's at Fort Myers D. I mean, that's just something that they're gonna lean on all year. And DeGroot, he's back there still making plays every game. He had another pick, you know, this week. And
But what you would say about whole quarterback situation? Would you continue to switch Darren Felix and Staubach?
I would
or
literally
would you just leave Staubach?
I would
back
literally
there?
leave him
It's
there
not broke,
and
don't
then
fix it.
and then put Felix in the backfield and let Felix do
Run his
what he
stuff.
can do. This is what he's a running back. You know, he's a very talented kid. You could put him at receiver, you could put him at quarterback, you can put him multiple places. But in college, he's gonna play running back. Let him play running back. You got a guy back there that can throw the ball, that can do what you are asking Felix to do. Leave him there. Let him play.
I think what it does is it makes defenses and coordinators second guess what they're going to do when he's sitting back there in the shotgun about to take a snap and whatnot. I think that's really, it's more of a mental thing.
But it's also a 50-50. Like, if he do go back in the shotgun and don't run the ball and have to pass, will that pass be accurate? Will it touch the receivers? Versus Staubach, he runs and can pass just as good. I mean, well, pass a little better.
Well, I think Fort Myers coaches are smart enough to know when they need a first down and they got to throw the ball, who they're going to let throw the ball.
Right.
You know, that's going to be Ben Stovall.
They have a great system over there at Fort Myers. We cannot deny that.
Not
They've
at
been
all.
doing it. They've been doing it for a long time. Been doing it since we've been in high school. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, those guys, they
Felt
pretty
the
much.
wrath.
Yeah. Well, we went 3-1 to them my senior year. We lost to them, but every other year we beat them. But
So that would be the game of the week, South and Fort Myers.
yeah, South and Fort Myers this week. But we had a very messy game by Mariner over LaBelle. They beat them
20 to 19.
And I had some inside information. Yeah, I was doing a little inside trade information. And he just said it was just a rough game. You know, the guys didn't come to play. They was just all over the board. And then also we had Dunbar, like, woo, is it just the defense that's that talented? 35-0, because we were talking about the big guys they had up front over there at Riverdale, but it seemed like the big guys couldn't do much.
Well, everybody knows about Dunbar's D and how they step up and how they constantly make plays. And they did it again, shutting them out, 35-0. But, the offense got their game going as well. You had LaRuan Preston, the senior running back. He had 117 yards on 11 carries. But ultimately, it really does come down to the D. I believe they scored 12 points on their own.
Right.
I think Trevon Kennedy had a pick. It was tipped by his brother, Terrell. He tipped it. Trevon grabbed it. They scored. It was a brother. Something about Dunbar's. Yeah, there's something. Dunbar's got the brother connection going over there. Yeah. So, I was looking on Facebook as well too, and Rocky does. Everybody still thinks they're sleeping on him.
I don't know why.
I told him. I said, Big Dream Sports TV ain't sleeping on you
Nobody's Nobody's sleeping on him.
Dunbar.
but-
I'm going to be rolling with them all year. They're too tough. I don't see them losing the game.
Not only did they have one running back in Preston getting to 117, but they had Kiki Young, 7 carries for 103.
Now that kid right there is a beast.
They
like
got two backs that just
two-head monster.
we running.
Two-head monster.
They don't
Right.
care how big you are, even
They
as big as
right.
Riverdale was. Or
And
is.
then they got a sleeper receiver over there that, we haven't heard much from right now. But I promise you this kid is going to be big. Jeremiah Rice, he's just right now in the background because, hey, if you got two-head monsters running the ball, feed them.
Right.
Fix nothing that broke. That ain't
Yes,
broke.
keep on doing your thing and you'll get your chance.
Now, before we get away from that game, though, I got to give a shout out to Malcolm Spencer at Riverdale. They put a lot of carries on that boy's back this week. He had 30 carries. He got 146 out of it, but that's a lot of carries, and you got to give him credit for against a defense like that that's hitting you like that, to tote the ball and stay in the game and keep coming strong.
That's huge.
Just want to throw that out there, as a positive thing for Riverdale.
And Seneca Miller still
smack.
smack.
So now we're going to get into your team, the team of your heart, the one that hit you right here, Island Coast, missing MG6.
I mean, Corey Curtis, he was playing.
That dude.
He was playing 19 drop passes from his receivers.
You can't win like that.
19 drop passes
You cannot
from
win
the
like
receivers.
I wish I knew how many of those were third down.
That's a number.
That's probably a record.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
drop.
think that was more drop passes than the running back had carries.
I better pull out the jugs machine this week.
Yeah,
right?
everybody.
I mean, how could a coach sit on the sideline and watch that? Not only a head coach, but the receivers coach
Ain't got a choice.
by itself. It's like, what can you do? Like, you can't even discipline the kid and be like, hey, come out and think about it. You got to take them, send them back in and be like, hey, let's go.
But then that goes to show you how much faith the coach have in that kid, because
And
you
that's
know
a good thing.
sometimes when you have a situation where a kid messes up, you don't want to run from him. You want to, hey, listen, you fumbled the ball, come back, let's make a play.
Right.
And so I guess they were trying to make a play, and these kids, they didn't make the play.
I completely agree with that because, it does show a lot of faith in your players.
Yeah.
And instead of cutting them off and completely diminishing their confidence, you keep throwing at them and you show them that you believe in them. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, it didn't work out this time, obviously, but, it's a testament, to the coaches, the belief in their, players to keep going to them.
Yeah, Corey, just keep throwing to your receivers. Eventually, they're going to come around and start catching them. And, but on the defensive side, their defense is really good.
I heard they got two boys
Their
back there.
defense is really good. Them two boys, Jamar Eason and Cameron Howard, they're pretty good. Like, I'm going to say this again.
Where you rank them in the top 5
Man,
defensive backs in Southwest Florida.
These kids, defensive back, no doubt. Both of them.
You got the kids now,
Both.
like, listen, you got the group from Fort Myers, then you got the kids from Dunbar, then you got the kids from South, so you literally gonna put them.
I mean, I like South too.
Right.
I like South too. But these two from Island Coast are the ones that, if you watch them, you're gonna be like, hold on, you got to place them in the talk. You got to place them. Like you wouldn't expect these kids being, maybe because they're from Cape Coral, nobody don't know them around in the area.
Right.
But when you see them, it's like, wait a minute, where does talent come from? You have to question it, like, what these kids been doing? Were they in Pop Warner? I don't know, but
the more and more the season goes on, this season, let me tell you, it's got me confused this year. It's been crazy because a lot of things you expect to happen haven't happened. But the more and more the season goes on, there are those diamonds in the rough that you keep finding. The more games you look at and you go to, like, who's that?
The kid from Dunbar, the DB Marcus, like, that kid is very talented. I really hope he grows a little bit. Because
big heart in a small package.
Huge. I haven't seen him get a pass caught on him since the 2 games that I went to. The kid is just like very outstanding. So I hope let's each weed his son, please, because we need you to grow up.
And we got a defensive tackle in Mikey Coleman. Like, we haven't talked too much about.
He's saying we
gonna have to. He's right.
We haven't talked too much as far as like defensive lineman, offensive lineman.
Yeah, we got to get on that.
I recognize this kid. He looks short, redhead, beast. He gets through that line. I mean, if you watch the South game, him and Equan Doris, they bumped heads a couple of times. Like, he met him at the line right there. Like,
all right.
But you got a couple of people, like Owen said, diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. And then now we're gonna get on to the North and the Estero game. Was not pretty much just a defensive game. Z White went out in that game, and North came out on top 14-6.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder if he wouldn't have went out so early, if it would have been as tight as it would be, or maybe it would have been around the same score. I mean, Estero's defense, I think, is a little better than we give him credit for.
Yeah.
But that's a big loss. Coach Graham says he's going to be ready for next week. I mean, but most coaches are going to – that's a high ankle sprain. I don't know if it's a high ankle sprain. But, I mean, every coach is going to say that, because, I mean, without him, we've seen last year and a little bit this year what kind of team they are without him.
Right.
And it's a struggle. Yeah. It's a struggle,
But the kid from the first show that said he was going to make a statement when he get that chance.
Yes.
Terry Lindsay.
Yeah,
I
he did
feel
say it.
like he would be able to hold them down until Z White is fully recovered.
And then
I hope
they
so.
will
I'd
come
love
back
to
with
see
that
that.
That was
two-headed
his
monster.
first game really being
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
And he actually
He
showed me
produced.
that he can do something.
Yeah,
He can do something with the ball.
And Z White come back, then now you
They got-
going with a two-headed monster.
Just
Well,
like-
Ernest said, he said after the game that we have other guys that can tote the ball, and he thinks they showed that, during that game. So they do have other guys that can, like Lindsey,
Yeah.
that can carry the ball. And I'm looking forward to that. I hope he does. He said, I got something to prove, and I'm going to show you. So
Well,
we can
now-
run the tape back next
Now we're
week.
going
We'll
to
see.
get into these predictions. Owen, you did not do so well, buddy.
I mean, that's okay. Everybody has an off week. We
That
talk
was a
about that
way
every
off
week.
buddy.
I went from first
3 for 4, buddy.
to last.
He dropped.
I mean, hey, I'll be back. It's okay.
Listen, I might pick the
1
same
week.
picks you picked from here on out.
Ow!
Just like, yeah, I just
saw the screen pop up.
No, Cap, you was at a lonely by yourself, but then he just went 3 for 4.
Wow.
Cause I told her we was in the gym, 0 for 1. He didn't want to listen. He rolled with his side. Y'all got the colors and everything on the win-loss ratio, and you just down the bottom, buddy.
Yeah, I hit a bad streak right
He
there.
knew he was gonna get on him. That's why he took off his jacket. But it's all
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna get hot in here, and I deserve it. I mean, I would be doing the same thing to you if it was you guys, and it's gonna happen to you
Oh yeah,
this year.
because
Watch,
you was really,
just watch.
You was really getting
When it's
on
good,
our
when
case.
it's you.
Oh yeah, I'm the man this year.
I was for a minute, for a hot minute I was.
Past tense.
But like I said, I'll be back.
So, but now we're gonna get into your prediction because you the loser, so you gotta go first.
All right, that's fine. My first pick, I got Fort Myers over South. Like I said, they're the cardiac kids. I don't think they have enough in them right now to play with a team like Fort Myers, who's running on all cylinders with confidence. It's just not this year for them. For South, that is.
Okay.
I got Riverdale over East Lee. I think it's about time Riverdale gets their first win. I think they got more talent on their team that they've showed thus far. I got Port Charlotte over Cape. I got Lehigh beating Barron Collier. Like I said, it's kind of similar to Riverdale. I feel like the talent Lehigh has, they don't deserve to be where they're at as far as 0-3. They're due for wins. They're due to play a lot better. And they got robbed. Maybe they got robbed last week, and I think they'll rebound this year or this week. Of course, I got Cypress over Mariner. But this is a real pick. Cypress is playing well. They were there for the first quarter, most of the first half. They are still playing strong. They still got the athletes. I don't think Mariner is quite as strong. Could be a close game. We'll see what happens, but I got the Panthers.
Okay.
I got Charlotte over Ida Baker. Charlotte's got that back.
Oh yeah, the Tarpons. They
Yeah, they're a serious team, and that's a game in a couple weeks I'm looking forward to is Charlotte versus.
It is a district game.
Yeah, I'm
And they
looking
the
forward to
district
that.
champs from
Charlotte
last
is
year.
a strong team. I got Vero. I got our Vikings over Lake Placid.
We didn't talk about them much, but those guys produced very well this week.
Tompkins, he had a
Eat.
game. He had a pick,
Eat,
couple of
young man,
touchdowns.
eat.
He tried to keep him in the game all by himself. I'm riding with Dunbar all year. I keep telling you that. They look almost unbeatable to me right now with that defense and the talent they
I
have.
have to agree with you on that.
What's that?
They
Unbeatable?
look unbeatable right now.
I mean, they're
Citywide,
taking names. They're blowing people out. They're not just winning, by the hair of their chinny chin chin. They're winning.
They're doing what they're supposed to.
Exactly.
With the talent that they
Unlike
have.
a lot of teams around here that we thought were supposed to do things, they are doing what they are supposed to do.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
that's where I'm at this week.
Cap, what you got?
Hopefully it's better than 3 and 4.
Let me see. I got Fort Myers over South. But like I said, I think Fort Myers is going to play to their opponent, in which it's going to be a pretty close game. I feel like it's going to be a pretty close
I'll be
game.
interested in seeing how they use Florinor this week with South. I meant to say that before because he's slowly creeping into being their permanent signal caller. It looks like to me. But, he's getting a lot more taking, a lot more time in that position, and it seems like they might use him a little more.
He
He's
buys
athletic.
a lot of time for the receivers.
And he had a couple touchdowns this week.
And having Jay Sean Jones back there, because that's a smart receiver, man.
Yeah.
He's a smart
He know how
receiver.
he know how to get open.
Yeah,
He-
from from the time he sees Maurice in trouble, he's like following him. Like he's gonna get that open spot, and Maurice is really like finding him. But I picked Fort Myers over South. My next one is Riverdale against Eastleigh. I'm picking Riverdale. Charlotte over Cape. Okay. Lehigh over Barron Collier, because I really feel like Chaney and the rest of his coaching staff is like really getting into who they need to, who they really need
Maybe
to
building their identity, like
they like really they starting to get it there. North over Island Coast. It's gonna be a slow start game, but I think North gonna pull it out. Pull it out if they can limit turnovers and anything like that. But if they can't get to Corey Curtis,
you know what time it is. But the receivers got to catch the ball.
It's going to be a big thing. I mean, it's going to be you might be missing Z-White. You might be missing you're going to be missing Mr. Game. We're going to be missing him too.
Two-star key players.
Yeah, so I mean, that game could be up in the air. I didn't think I got a chance to pick that one. I'll be picking North, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, but that's going to be a good game. I got Cypress over Mariner. I just don't see where Mariner can handle these boys at. Yeah. I think Boeing ain't gonna be able to brag
a little
at
more.
the next show.
He can come back.
3-1. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Be able to say
This season's crazy. This season's been crazy.
I got Charlotte over Ida Baker. I mean, they the district champs from last year. Not only that, they beat Fort Myers, our best team last year.
That's what I'm saying. Wait for that game in a couple weeks.
And Ida Baker coming off a horrible loss last week.
Yes.
What was going on?
I don't know.
You tell me, Cap.
I don't know what happened. Like
what happened was.
Next game, Bishop Row over Lake Placid. I like Bishop Row over Lake Placid. Lake Placid really not.
We ride with our guys.
You got to. I mean, I don't even really know where Lake Placid is.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Alligator?
Yeah. Is that the same lake?
That's what it is. That's the same lake.
Oh.
But I don't think they have.
Well, I don't want to know where it is then.
Hopefully they don't run into that lake.
I'll try to swim in that lake.
Okay, in the last game, I'm picking Dunbar over Lely. I seen Lely play. They don't stand a chance. They don't got it. Lehigh. I mean, not Lehigh, but Dunbar.
No chance.
No chance at all.
I agree.
I think Preston and Young will have another big game. Actually, I think the receivers probably get involved a little more too.
Let's go, Let's go, Shockey.
A little more too. Shockey. This probably be another a breakout game for Shockey.
You say that because of Laley's defense or DBs or secondary linebackers?
They're not
suspect.
Yeah, they're very suspect.
That's a nice way to say it.
Suspect. Yeah. I mean,
suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and we know the defense of Dunbar.
Yeah.
Laley has a mobile quarterback, but
don't ease up, Rocky.
You say,
no
Rocky,
chance.
Shannon.
Enough said.
Shannon Reed.
Enough said.
I don't think they're going to. So, yeah, I'm picking Dunbar.
Okay. And now.
To Drew's picks.
The champ is here.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my Lord.
The champ is here. Okay, we're going to start it off. I'm going with Fort Myers over South. I just don't really feel that, South has got it together yet. I'm going with Riverdale over Eastleigh. I'm going with Cape over Port Charlotte. I really think the defense, because you're the one really kind of turned me on to those guys. So I seen a little, I got to shine the light on them. So I'm going to go with Cape.
Wait a minute. I thought we were going to have a clean sweep with that.
We can't.
No.
And then another thing.
It is true about Cape's D. I mean, there's a little bit of sparkle in there, and they can do some things. And I flip-flopped on that game, to be honest with you.
What do you know about Port
I'm trying to come back in the standings, too.
I'm riding with Kate.
You just going with Kate.
But that's why I'm the champ, bro. But I know. But
they was district runner-ups last year.
I'm the champ. That's why I'm the champ. I'm riding with Kate. Kate,
for now.
You gonna do what you do.
Appreciate
it. Then I'm going with Barron Collier over Lehigh. I'm sorry, Lehigh. I love you guys. I done rolled with y'all. Y'all done disappointed me a couple times.
If y'all don't know, we got some Lehigh guys in the studio right now.
I really want you guys to, make me feel bad about my pick, because I already do. And I'm kind of going against, and you say we ain't no takebacks.
No.
No takebacks.
No, y'all
All
wouldn't
right.
let me take back
you're
last
right.
week.
Yeah, well,
Tried to
It's
take
all
back that
good.
Island Coast pick when I found out Mr. Gamers wasn't playing. And no.
but now I'm going to go with Cypress over Mariner. That's just a no-brainer. Charlotte over Ida Baker. Simple no-brainer.
I like the no-brainer.
I'm riding with my boys because it ain't no Gators that's going to be in the stadium.
Hopefully not.
Yeah,
That's a
definitely.
big gator in that movie.
So Bishop over Lake Placid. Then I'm going with, everybody is going to go with Dunbar because right now they the hot.
The hot ticket.
The boys on fire.
Yeah.
They on fire. And I'm going to go with North over Island Coast because I feel like Terry Lindsay will put the team on his back. And I don't think Z White injury is too...
I don't think we know, and they're not going to tell us. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's good coach. I mean,
I don't think.
An ankle sprain?
I think they're gonna sit him out.
You think they?
I
Well,
think they're gonna sit him out.
I feel like they're not gonna miss a beat because you have Terry Lindsay Jr. The guy is a very talented kid, freshman,
have
and you're gonna
Wilkins
hear.
at receiver.
Yeah.
Joe Wilkins.
well, I mean, not miss a beat, and they need to step their beat up. Honestly,
But that's what I'm saying. Z White hasn't been performing to
Right.
his capabilities.
That's what I mean,
And-
so-
but then you had Terry come in and do what he did in the first week plus some yards.
Right.
So
Well, like I said, he told us he was going to do something. I believe him. So
yeah, I believe.
I hope he does.
So that wraps it up for Southwest Florida scores and highlights. The champ, baby. We'll
Come
be right
on,
back
man.
after this break.
You got to listen to that
Yeah, you got
all
to.
week.
All week.
Ah,
3 and 4. That's what you win. Welcome back, Big Dream Sports TV. And we're at the end of the show. Great show, folks.
Yeah, another good one. Hopefully my picks will be a little bit better this week.
Probably be on top this week. Probably.
But,
Probably not.
my Lehigh guys are going to help me out.
Yeah.
They just got done telling me that. So.
Yeah, they got us. They in the studio and they gave me a hard time during break, but
I mean, you gave him a hard time about his clothes, right?
the Bart Simpson, but he goes to Dunbar.
Oh,
Look like
well,
Bart
that
Simpson.
explains it all, too.
It's a kid-friendly studio. We got them all up in here. The show is about them. But we had a great show, fellas, and
Good guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went on a little while.
Thanks to
Darfernell,
Darth.
keep your head
Thanks
up.
to Darth.
Yep.
Thanks to
Keep your
Coach.
head up, Darfernell.
Yep.
And with that being said, don't let your talent get in the way of your responsibilities. And we out. See you next week.